Welcome back to the Totally Righteous Cine Club podcast, dudes. I'm Jake.
I'm Matthew.
I'm Billy.
And I'm Connell.
If that intro wasn't enough of a hint, yes, this week we are covering some films we consider to be classics of the 1980s, or cult classics to be more specific, from the bogus to the excellent.
That's right. It's the decade that gave us the rise of the blockbuster and some of the best films in all of pop culture that are still talked about today. And all the films we were planning on discussing have been screened at Cine Club, just for a little Brucey bonus.
Yep, and if that wasn't enough, one of the films mentioned in this episode is the one that we consider to be the catalyst of Cine Club as we know it today. It's a pretty big deal. Stay tuned to hear more about that one later on.
But in the meantime, how do we feel about clowns? Some make us laugh, some make us cry, but these ones are only going to make you die! I'm of course referring to the cult horror hit Killer Clowns from Outer Space, another film I screened last year. What did we all think of it?
All I took from it was, the one thing I remember is that you kept saying one of them looked like me. Every time he came on. Every time it would come on, Colin would go, "That's you.
What have you ducks? What have you ducks?"
That was great. I mean, it does what it says on the tin. It's got killer clowns that are like also alien invaders and in like a big top-shaped spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, and what do they do? They like capture people in cotton candy and
Cotton
stuff.
candy cocoons is
It's
what
just-
they're called.
It's shoot popcorn at people.
And shoot popcorn at people. I mean, it's utterly bizarre, but it's really fun. It's stupid, but it's so 80s. I think the fact that it's got like a sort of hair metal theme tune as well,
Mm-hmm, yeah.
and like, yeah, it's a great film.
Theme tune was actually really good.
Theme
I think
tune's
it's
great,
on my
I think.
Spotify now.
Yeah, it's in my
Theme tune.
playlist.
I thought the soundtrack in general is a pretty good soundtrack,
Yeah.
especially it's
Yeah.
like when they first start like walking
When they're
like
lurking
to the
about.
town, and it's like the whole that
Yeah.
that kind of like theme.
Cool.
It's
I thought
that.
it was really good.
It's even got a game now.
Does,
Yeah,
That's
I
right. Well,
played
that was
it.
why you
It's sick.
screened it, wasn't it?
It's so good. Like it's a bit unbalanced, but
Yeah.
it's still good. You know, but
It's definitely had quite a resurgence in the past few years because you've had the
Yeah.
game.
mhm.
It's become a lot more widely available on home media. And then I know in America there's been a lot of like a resurgence, and you can just buy like replicas of the stuff at
Yeah,
your
there's,
local
quite a lot,
Halloween
there's a
shop.
lot more merchandise of it now.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, in quite a lot of shops when nobody really would have known about it other than people who, you know, watched cult 80s horror films. But there's like action figures, they've got the plush toys of it in Be More
Yeah.
Geek. They've got like all sorts of stuff.
Popcorn bazookas, the
Yeah,
remote
yeah.
controlled
bazookas,
pies.
It's
What are you
like,
going to do with those pies, boy?
It's great. It's like it's really schlocky, but like in a good way.
yeah,
Yeah.
The
exactly.
production design's like really admirable for such a low budget film.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is totally.
And it made, how much was it making them? Was it $36?
It was
Oh my.
something low. It might have been a little bit higher, but not much higher.
$36. That's
I
ridiculous.
thought it was just in the hundreds. I'm pretty sure you told us about this.
I think
Billy.
it
I
was
just
like-
can't remember.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a genius unappreciated in its time.
It seems like one of those ones that would have been more popular on home video, I think. Like,
Yeah.
it's like
Just
a very much a VHS rental for the weekend.
Pop
like,
the blockbuster and pick a film out.
Exactly
This one
that.
looks alright.
Yeah, exactly that. I can't imagine many people would be rushing to the cinema to see that, but still, you're right about
as
the
was
production
proved from the
design.
box office.
Yeah.
that was.
I
was
like the
not
posters as
successful.
well. Also, I feel like I know it's not something we really talk about on this because you can't judge a book by its cover, but I think you're right. Just something about the art direction of like the design of the clowns and like the sort of look of all the posters, and it's really cool. It's really colourful. I like the
Yeah.
fact that even though it's a horror film and quite grisly, and it's, you know, it's not massively gory, but it's
Yeah.
still not something you should be
Yeah.
showing your kids.
Like
It's
when
like
they peel the cotton candy cocoons open, they've got like
just,
raw faces.
skinned
Yeah.
human beings. Yeah, which is pretty messed up, but I think it catches you off guard because it is so colourful and fun looking, and you know, the clowns are somewhat hideous, but they kind of get away with it. Cause
Sorry
it's
to any
like,
clowns out there listening.
yeah, but they're alien clowns, so, you know, unless you're an alien clown listening to this episode, in which case I'm deeply, deeply sorry. But if you are an alien clown listening, why aren't you trying to conquer the world? Surely you've got better things to be doing.
Yeah, you don't want to get the big one, Jojo the Clownzilla, on you.
I don't
He's
think,
like
yeah, there's got the
very tall,
Godzilla
30-odd
clown
foot.
that comes after them at the end. It's weird. I think the only thing that I couldn't get away with. Like, I know because it does quite well with the low budget. I just wish they didn't walk about like that. I think the fact that every time you see them moving, they're just like sort of slowly
Awkwardly lumbering around.
lumbering about like
I saw like when looking through like content from it, like there was this video of the behind the scenes when they were getting the actors like teaching them and training them how to do the walks. And it was funny because it's like, if you discover that and didn't know the context, you just think it's some creepy video of these people in clown costumes.
Analog horror clowns learning to walk.
I can imagine analog horror killer clowns. Just always goes, another door, another door, another door.
That was what I said. It was like the back rooms, because it's like it's got that aesthetic, and this is what I mean. Like, nobody in the 80s would have really appreciated that, but because there's this weird sort of resurgence of like nostalgic things that you remember from your childhood being creepy, thanks to like stuff like Five Nights at Freddy's and like that kind of thing. This is like a great example of that, just, you know, actually made at the time that, you know, that you're nostalgic for, you know, the whole idea of like clowns and circuses and that, like, you know, all those sort of places being quite scary, because I guess, you know, if like in that way there would have been in that context, and they make that and make it work by adding alien clowns to the mix. But
it's definitely something that's rightfully had a resurgence in the past few years after it was given a unfair reception when it first came out.
It does deserve to be seen, because I had heard of it and I was like, it just sounds, you know, like just some weird clown thing, because I think that's the other thing, is because there's so many clown horror films now as well. I suppose at least that one differentiates itself a bit by not going for the outright scary. It's kind of sort of a bit tongue-in-cheek at the same time, but you know, it's still a horror film really at the end of the day. So,
and from that we move to another pick from last year. We have the two Coreys, comic books, greasy saxophone players, and vampires as well. Does it get more 80s than The Lost Boys? Do you think it's for the better or for the worse?
I like The Lost Boys. It's not my favourite, but I do like it. I liked Corey Feldman in it.
That's fair.
He's fun in every 80s film I see him in, but it's one of these films that you hear about constantly as like an 80s classic, and so you go in with really high expectations, and I don't know if those were entirely met, at least for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I liked it, but I didn't think it was brilliant.
It wasn't mind blowing.
Yeah. I'd seen it years ago, because my dad had shown me it when I was, God, I think I was too young to be watching The Lost Boys. I was about 8 years old. And I remember
a typical dad movie night.
It is, yeah. It was like, son, sit down, I'm going to make you watch this. And then we're going to watch the UFOs. It wasn't that bad.
So do you want to watch Passion of the Christ?
And then he sat down and watched it. I didn't like it. And then you watch it at Cineclub, and I thought, it's good. It's not the best. I've heard people say it's the best 80s films of all time, and I strongly disagree.
No, it's not. I had the opposite effect, like the opposite experience though, where my dad also showed us it, but it was because it wasn't even me dad. I think it was both my mum and my dad both said, "Oh, it's an 80s classic." And I was like, "A vampire?" Like, my mum never watches horror films, so I was like, it must be quite good if she is willing to sort of get over that and watch it. And I was like, you know, and it was, and the two of them both said, "Oh, it's great." And this was probably just after I'd watched like Back to the Future and Ghostbusters and started working my way through. Once again, I was probably too young. I can't remember when it was, but I watched it, loved it, because it was just like it's so over the top, but it's like, it's got there's like a sort of set group of those films from the 80s where it's like, they've just got like, you know, they've got either the two Coreys or there's like some sort of quite famous producer involved. It was Richard Donner, I think, was involved in this one. They've got a brilliant soundtrack album, which The Lost Boys definitely has. Like, argue with me if you want, but you are wrong. And you know, and the fact that it's like that they're vampires, but it's like cool biker vampires. It's like just kind of a different take, because you sort of, that whole idea that it's like, it's like Dracula and the castle and all of that, but what if they were just rebellious teenagers who were just menaces to society, and then they're also vampires at the same time? It's like, it's cool.
It's definitely like the birth of the modern vampire, I would say. Just accept like, it's definitely does it way, way, way better than any of the likes of other franchises, Twilight.
Whoa. Don't start.
I know this may anger some people out there, but it's true.
It is true.
For me, I absolutely fucking loved this film.
Yeah.
Like it's. I would say that, like, it's obviously not perfect. Like, there are some flaws, but like, as something that you can just kind of stick on and watch and be like, oh yeah, I want to see something cool. Like,
well, that's it. It's like it's the badass 80s factor of it, I think, trumps everything else for me because of just the fact that it's like bike chases to the sort of like hair metal music and like, it is a bit daft, really. And if you're not really interested in that kind of the style of it, then it hasn't got that much, because at the end of the day, it is a fairly, it's a fairly basic story of like kid gets in with the wrong gang, also starts turning into a vampire, and it's I like the characters. I like the fact they've got the Frog Brothers, these like sort of self-proclaimed like vampire experts who are willing to kill any vampire. As soon as they face the actual vampires, they're both terrified. It's like so funny.
If Joel Schumacher has anything, it is style, for better or for worse.
For better or for worse. It's kind of like
you've got your Lost Boys and your Phantom of the Opera, but then you've also got Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Forget?
Batman Forever's alright. But
Batman
Batman and Robin.
To be fair, both of those Batman films, the fun times. You
They're
can't
good,
really go
yeah,
wrong
Don't
with
you be
them.
shaking your head now.
Shaking my head at the mention of Batman Forever being good, because these
Batman
are all,
Forever
these are all on the
it's
wind up.
alright. It's fine.
Batman and Robin is one of the funniest films I've ever seen in my life, though. I'll give you that.
You know what kills the dinosaurs?
It wasn't really. It was an asteroid, but
Facts with Cineclub.
sorry.
It wasn't the Ice Age, it was the astronaut.
Actually, it was the
next week
asteroid.
with the correct Arnold Schwarzenegger's other quotes.
But yeah, a lot of his styles definitely bleeds into, pun intended, into the Lost Boys. But that's what I really liked about it. I like the style, I like the aesthetic, I like the soundtrack, like Jake said. The thing that put me off, I think, is the ending. I didn't really like. Do you know, like, I can't remember. Was it meant to be a twist with like
that Max is the head vampire?
Well, like they'd been going on the whole time, like, oh, he's it, and like. It's so obvious because they've been calling him the head vampire, and then
pretty obvious
act like it's a twist. I'm like, oh, come on, it's not a twist.
Well,
That's just obvious.
Because they thought about him being that, but then the only reason why nothing affected him is because he was invited in.
That's true.
Which I actually thought was clever.
Because I never clocked that the first time.
I didn't notice.
Because like I didn't realise exactly that inviting a vampire in would make you powerless. That was, but I think that was a good idea in that terms.
And then they hit you with the double twist as well, like the fact that it goes from that, and then it's also that the grandpa knew about the vampires the whole time, and that's how it ends. I just think that's like a really fun, like punchline. That the whole
damn vampire,
and they all just look at him like, and then that's it. Roll credits. It's great. I love it's the sort of summer look of it. I think it makes us want. I know it's meant to be like a horrible place full of scum and vampires, but I want to go there. I want to listen to
so South Shields.
Yeah, basically. But you haven't got Echo and the Bunnymen blast them when you go to South Shields. Do you? Oh, there you go.
We've also got Kiefer Sutherland to wander the streets.
Oh, that's true. He was at Greg's the other week, wasn't he?
Oh yeah,
I think he was.
The Lost Boy approves of his Greg's steak bakes.
All you need is Tim Capello now, like just
oiled up. He comes to conventions, you can meet him.
Because that's how he was.
That's how he is in the film. He doesn't come to conventions oiled up. But
there you go. There's a thing for a t-shirt.
He does bring his saxophone though. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. He was at a thing in Manchester a few years ago, and I really wanted to go because he was one of the guests. It was him and Tom Atkins out of Halloween 3. Were like the main, and I was like, this is
what
awesome.
A crossover.
Yeah, of all the people. But anyway, there you go. Good film. Very good film. And last but not least, we have the film that Star Wars wishes it could be, Flash Gordon. Arguably the most pulpy cult classic to come out of the decade, but a one that made a big impact on all of us. So,
best film ever made.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, it's great.
It was amazing.
Well, it was an interesting one because it wasn't our pick. I think it was JP, who you will have heard. JP, who you will have heard in another episode of the Cine Club podcast, suggested it. And I think we all knew of it. I don't think many of us had seen it before. And it was one of those ones where it was kind of like the thing of myth, where it was like, that's that crappy sci-fi film from the 80s, isn't it?
Dad's favourite film.
Yeah, it's like it's that film from Ted, isn't it? It's the one Seth MacFarlane really likes. It's like, this will be interesting, and just it was for whatever reason the stars aligned, and loads of people came to that screen, and way more than usual. And we just all loved it. It was just so fun. It was like just pure joy throughout the entire thing, because that's effectively all the film has to offer. It's just silly fun, but it's sort of doesn't take itself too seriously. There's moments where you think it's gonna, but then it doesn't. I think because you could just
Flash
tell.
Gordon and serious do not belong in the same conversation.
No, they don't. Well, that's it. I think it's because the concept in theory sounds quite serious, that it's like they're trying to save Earth from annihilation, but everyone involved just seemed like they were having so much fun doing everything they're doing, and it is weird though, because it's like, even though it's daft, there's also like quite a few weirdly horrific moments that just come out of nowhere. There's like the whole thing where like the people have no eyes, they like rip the visor off and they've got no eyeballs, and then you get Clytus like dying, he's like eyes come out, he's mad. It's like it just gets really grisly out of nowhere. It's like, I have no idea why, but it's
just great. You've got this meathead footballer attacking an empire along with a bloke in wings, while Brian May absolutely shreds on guitar.
That is the perfect summary. I know. I think I like the fact that he is just a football player. He's got no superpowers or anything.
He's just
really.
a bloke.
He's just a bloke who just ends up in the wrong place. They don't even get back home as well. You forget that like technically it's not that. They've defeated Ming and Earth is saved, but they have no way of going. They can't go back to Earth. They're still kind of trapped there.
You just get like a nice thank you message in the sky in a freeze frame, and that's it.
Have a nice day.
It's so good.
Sounded like Rayman in that. Right?
Yeah, it's a fine line.
Yeah, there is just something though which gives me a massive boost of dopamine every time I hear the dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
dun,
the soundtrack is really good. Like,
it's just that bass line, and it's like you just know every time that does play, shit's about to go down in the best way possible.
I like the bit when the football fight bit where he like starts
that bit was
beating on
really cool.
the music, and that
sick.
is really cool. And I like the fact that they're all like just beyond confused. They're like watching him in like sort of horror, but also curiosity as to what he's actually trying to achieve.
It's a shame Queen only did like two film soundtracks, because like both films that they did it for are brilliant.
Was it Highlander as well?
Yeah, Highlander. Highlander's
well.
great, and it's just, like it sort of boosts the films that they're in so much more.
Yeah, no, totally.
Like when you get to Highlander and you've got Who Wants to Live Forever playing, it's like, oh, it's so good.
It's like so cool. Yeah,
that's one I'm yet to watch. So
that's another one that feels like it's good.
Put it on the list.
Yeah, I would love it.
Get it on that screen upstairs.
You should, suggest it.
Could I?
I'd like to
take
see
Connell to the chair and make him watch it.
Do you need to do that? I want to watch this. Yeah, but we're still taping it down, Connell.
It's not. Yeah, it's just, you could just watch it. But yeah, no,
it's not as fun that way though.
Being taken down to watch
Highlander. Force them to watch Highlander as if it's a punishment. That makes it sound like it's really bad. Yeah, this is a great point. I think the Queen soundtrack is that's definitely more of the legacy of the film nowadays, because I think whenever you mention it, it's like, oh, wasn't that the one with Brian Blessed, or wasn't that the one with the Queen soundtrack?
Wasn't that the one from the Sillet Bang advert?
Or that, yeah, exactly. Actually, that's a good point. That's kind of what it is.
That is weird though. Like, do you reckon there were people in Sweden who watched that film not knowing about the song and were going, "This isn't the fucking
hang on a minute,
Sillet Bang advert"?
It's Flash though.
Oh yeah,
because that's why they use Flash.
Yeah, it's not Sillet Bang, it's Flash.
Oh, it's Flash, not Sillet Bang.
It's Flash.
Sorry, I got my kitchen pot knowledge wrong.
Honestly,
it's
a good job we're not a kitchen appliance podcast.
I don't think we'd have any listeners that way.
Is that our spin-off?
We'd have some nana sat in the house listening to it. Ooh, that one sounds good.
Where's she from?
It's up to interpretation.
Okay.
Anyway, Flash Gordon, guys. This is what I mean. This is what it does to you. Like Flash Gordon's just like you just can't help but enjoy it. It's just everything about it. It's just fun.
And it brought all of us to be mates for better or worse.
Basically, yeah.
We've probably, answered it by now with all the rambling and cheering and celebrating the majesty of Flash Gordon. But what is it about Flash Gordon that you think made us enjoy ourselves so much in that screening?
I think it's just a good time.
Mhm.
That's
It's
what
just-
I
You know,
think.
it's as simple as that. It's a
You
good
know,
time.
It's quotable. It's daft without overdoing it. I think. I mean, not even so much the enjoyment. Like on a genuine technical level, it is actually like it's a really good looking film.
Yeah.
Like the sort of production design, the fact that it's. It was JP who said it's like a more colourful Star Wars. Like it's got the same sort of idea, but everything's just a bit more sort of shiny and golden, and they've got all the reds and you know, I know some of the sort of special effects do look a bit dated, but it's nowhere near as bad as a lot of people would make it out to be compared to some of the crap I've watched.
I mean,
It's like-
you mentioned production design. I don't know what the place is called, but it's where Timothy Dalton's character's from.
oh, the
I just called it knockoff Endo because it's just
Yeah.
loads of
Yeah.
trees.
That bit was
before
that
Endor.
whole set was really
There
cool.
you go.
Was just Nottingham.
Nottingham.
Yeah, he
With
does just
Sherwood
look like
Forest,
just
basically.
Because he's dressed
Oh,
up
like
like
Robin
Robin
Hood,
Hood.
Peter Pan.
And he starts proper cursing as well. It's the fact that he's the only one who swears in the
Oh,
whole
Timothy Dalton's great in that
Timothy
film.
Dalton's like an absolute
He's
raj
phenomenal.
packet in that film. He's so mad and for no reason.
Put your hand on the tree stump now!
He's like,
And then you've
You
got Brian
bloody
Blessed.
bastards.
Just
Brian
being
Blessed.
Brian
Oh
Blessed.
my
He was
God.
my favourite part of that whole film. Flash!
He's so funny.
Hawkmen! Dive!
Yeah, he's just,
Gordon Sawyer!
he's like, I mean, he is. It's just, but it's like this. It's such a ragtag group of actors who you just wouldn't like ever expect. Some of them weren't even actors. I mean, Sam Jones is like a model. He wasn't an actor.
Really?
It's like,
Didn't
yeah,
know
it's like
that.
the only film he's ever done. I think he's probably done more, but
Yeah.
that's like the main thing he's known for because he just was a, you know, he just did it.
Whenever I think of Flash Gordon, I don't know why I think this. I think of the shot where he's on the
The little
thingy
hover.
that he's flying, and he's pulling that face. And he's like,
yeah, he's
yeah.
like so happy
like
with
you'll know,
himself.
yeah, you know what I'm on about. But it just looks like I don't know, and that's all I can think of when I think of Flash Gordon.
blind,
Pretty
and a
iconic.
rocket psycho.
So good.
Yeah, that's yeah. No, it is though, because it's like, and even that, the fact that like he's not flying through space, he's flying through this weird tie-dye, moving pink blue, like pastel coloured background
Yeah.
I think it's
thing.
mesmerising, to be
It's
honest.
great,
Like,
isn't it?
flying
Like,
through
this is
a
what I mean. Like, it
painting.
looks
Like,
so
it's-
different. It's just that I can't think of hardly any other films that go for that. Like, it's a
Yeah.
sort of sci-fi thing, but instead of being all like sort of dark and you know, and that kind of, it's just colourful. Everything's colourful, and like the only parts that are sort of dark and use black and grey is like the villains like hideout,
Yeah.
like all of their rooms when they're like when they're blasting like videos of the Holocaust into Topol's mind and stuff. When they're like they like tape them down, they're like going through all these memories.
The
and
sort
it's
of
like,
thing Professor X would use to beat Magneto.
it is. That's exactly what it's like. And Cletus is just there, and he's all like, "That one, he showed promise," and it's like,
God.
but that's what I mean. Like stuff like that comes out of
Oh my God,
nowhere and
Lord.
catches you
I
so
for-
off
I
guard.
forgot about that bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that,
it's
now I
like-
remember when it happened, because most of us hadn't seen it or hadn't seen it in years.
It's
We were all looking at each other going, "What?
it's
the
just
what's going on?"
insane. It's like
it was mad.
it's that, and when they're like torturing his daughter as well, and she's like
God, yeah.
attached to the table, but
Yeah.
the table's got like little skeleton hands, and it's like why is it? It's so needlessly cool that it's got skeleton hands, but like everything about it, it's just. I mean, yeah, it's
What
like
is it
it's
with
so
the 80s
bizarre.
and just having like traumatizing torture scenes? You've got the Dark Crystal with the little
Oh, yeah, with the podlin
yeah, the
things
poor little
getting out.
podlins
God,
getting
yeah.
I'm only going to suck your essence, and then like
He
get
just
that
turns into
eyes.
like the eyes that go out and just turn into a little wrinkled beast.
It's horrible, isn't it? Yeah, I know what you mean, though. It is.
I'm only going to suck your ass.
That's what they say. That's what the.
that
that's-
on a
yeah.
t-shirt.
Put that on a
I was about to say,
t-shirt
yeah,
number
we need
3.
more merch.
Another T-shirt.
Let us know if you want merch.
The Skexes when that's what they do.
Let us know if you want a t-shirt saying, I want to suck your essence, or we need old men.
essence.
You're gonna get some funny looks. You're open on for that one.
It's yeah, I love that. There's another good one actually.
Yeah.
Dark Crystal.
There's so many cult 80s films you could talk about because
Yeah.
the list's endless because
Dark
they're all
Crystal by
class.
Jim Henson.
Jim
Yeah.
Henson.
He
Yeah,
had some bangers in the 80s, didn't he?
he really did.
My
He was on
God.
an
It was like a
absolute
whole
winning
like
run.
phase of like dark fantasy stuff. So you obviously
Yeah,
got Dark
exactly
Crystal, then you got
Labyrinth was
Labyrinth
80s,
too.
wasn't it?
Like it was
Yeah.
all them.
Labyrinth, I think it's 86.
86.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I'm
yeah.
still yet
Yeah,
to
it
see
was
that.
86.
Have you
Have you not seen Labyrinth?
I
I haven't
haven't.
seen it.
Just give it a watch.
So good.
Note to self, tie Billy down and make him watch Labyrinth. And then in the next chair, Colin's watching Highlander.
I'm watching Highlander.
It's just like the Clockwork Orange. Got the eyes open.
Well, you don't
David Bowie's cod piece.
You mean his Major Tom?
you don't tie him down to watch Labyrinth, though. You just trick him with the power of voodoo.
Yeah, hoodoo.
You do.
I forgot the
Do what?
Remind me of the Babe, I think, is the
yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's so many, but those
Forget
were
about the baby.
the rest of. Eventually, we'll probably end up screening more on Cine Club.
Yeah.
I think it's been Labyrinth's been on. It's
Yeah.
another one of JP's
Oh, is that
excellent
one then?
picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David Bowie died, I think.
Yeah, I went through his list of suggestions just to get more ideas for the podcast, and it's just an endless list of cool films.
Cool,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
got good taste.
Well, I was thinking, I think Last Starfighter was on my agenda of potential other ones to screen, which is another one that's like, it's got that sort of Flash Gordon thing where it's like a sort of low budget, weird sci-fi film that people who know about it and really like it, but a lot of people haven't seen it. But
Yeah.
there you go. That could be a future episode. We shall see.
Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, is
Oh, that's
another
another really
80s
good
cult
one,
one
yeah.
that I would be interested in sticking on. It's a bit, it's
Are you a bit scared
it's
to
an
put it on?
interest. Yeah, I think if I put it on, I would get some weird looks
I
from
don't
people
know.
who didn't get it.
The
Yeah.
beginning of Evangelion was probably worse.
Yeah, that was
That's-
something.
Yeah, but
That was
I know what you
something
mean,
which
yeah.
I hate.
I know what you mean about Elvira, though. It is
Yeah.
annoying, though, because it is a really good film.
It
but
actually
I've
is.
not
you'd
seen
have
it
to-
yet.
I've got the Arrow video.
Have you?
Got it in the land of Scouse.
Oh, brilliant.
I thought you meant that's where you were keeping it.
No.
The safe
Well, yeah,
keeping it.
I've got like a vault in Liverpool with just a copy of Elvira, Mistress of
You've
the
sent
Dark.
the
on.
Blu-ray on like a slow boat, like Nosferatu. It's like it's currently pulling into the Mersey, into the docks now. Honestly, right. I think that's about all the radical film discussion we have time for this week. What are your favourite films from the 1980s? Please let us know at cineclub.podcast at sparksunderland.com.
Or you can contact us at the.cineclub.podcast _spark on Instagram. It's another way to keep up to date on all the latest Cine Club developments. Additionally, we now have a TikTok.
Ooh.
Find us at the.cineclub.podcast. Would love to hear from you, and if you went out and gave her a few likes and favourites, it wouldn't go amiss.
As always, this episode was recorded and produced by us, the Sunderland University students, as well as being edited by Emily Main. Special thanks goes out to Steve Cannon, Barbara Sadler and Richard Berry. A reminder that our 4 dudes this week have consisted of me, Matthew,
Me, Connell.
Me, Billy.
And me, Jake. This has been a Cine Club production for Spark. Thanks for listening.